Do you wear contacts?
No.
You don't?
No
way.
Yeah.
Wow.
You lucky.
I'm getting older though, so.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, mine have gotten really bad, like especially the last probably 8 years or something. My right eye specifically is like really deteriorating. Last night I was shooting in the warehouse with Neville, and the light is kind of not great, and I was getting double vision. Like I could see.
Do you shoot with both eyes open?
I try, but I'm not very good at it. You?
No, I have to like close this one hard.
Yeah.
And then
I kind of squint this one, you know, but then my left eye is my dominant eye now. It's like much better than my right eye, so it's always a little awkward. Yeah.
I tried to shoot with one of those blinder things, and I shot Sunday with it fine to keep both eyes open. Today in practice, I was like, whoa, no.
Yeah.
Like I was like, there's 4 targets.
I thought about putting one on both sides of my hat, so I'm just like in a hallway.
Yeah.
It's just like nobody else will look at me.
Yeah.
I'm just
And
like,
you just look cool when you have that too.
and then maybe
official.
if I could put one in the front that flips down, so I just like completely just off myself off from nobody talking to me. If I stand there with my arms like this, maybe people just leave me be. Do
it's like, wow, that guy is weird. That's why they'll leave you.
That's a vibe. Well, we have Jess Laughter here.
Yeah.
Jess is a friend to GOHUNT. We've had you on the podcast before. It's been how many years? 2 years at least.
It was like one of the first.
Yeah, first few episodes, right?
Yeah, it was a long
Park
time
City.
ago.
Yeah, we were at Park City at TAC.
And Neville and
and you jumped on the podcast with us. So we've known you for a few years anyway.
Yeah.
But you're in Vegas. You're on our home turf. So we thought we'd invite you down and say what's up and get to visit with you about. I want to talk about your elk hunt. Yeah. And talk about archery in general.
Yeah.
Is that all on the table? You're all right with that?
That sounds good to me. Sounds good. That's what I like to do, archery and elk hunt. So
gotcha. Elk or mule deer? Let's get it out.
I know. Well,
let's just throw it out
I
on
haven't
the
had
table.
any friends lately, so I'm hoping someone's gonna be my friend eventually.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Ever,
elk.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna say elk.
Gosh.
Oh,
but I also like mule deer too. But
sorry, Brady.
Bears?
Yeah.
See, bears. Okay, we got one win on the table.
But elk overall,
Oh,
right?
elk overall.
One animal to rule them all, and it's elk, Brady.
No.
Do you want to hit us with promo code first?
We should.
I think we missed it yesterday.
But you haven't listened to it yet, but the episode that you were gone this last week.
You guys nailed it?
I nailed it.
How many?
It was about 40 minutes in that I got
40?
the promo code. Yeah, 40. So
Man, I'm always optimistic, and then I look at the clock, and I'm like, oh, he didn't start the clock.
I know.
You started the clock, but we can't be more than a few
we
minutes.
are 4 minutes in.
There you go. See?
And we're going to hit you
We're
with the
doing
promo
big
code.
things.
So yes, it is application season, and everyone should, or we hope you need to have some research tools to actually draw some tags. So sign up for an insider membership account. I'm just kicking things underneath the table. Sign up for an insider membership account and use promo code podcast.
Is there a dog under there?
No. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
And we'll give you 50 points back to the GOHUNT Gear Shop. So yeah, promo code podcast, give you 50 points back to the GOHUNT Gear Shop. And you get all the research from draw odds, application strategy articles, filtering. I mean, you got everything in the mobile app too for researching for a hunt. You got GOHUNT maps, everything you could ever need. Wow, I have to repeat myself all the time.
Did you get a lot of questions about the atmosphere jacket today?
Yes.
I got a lot. I had a lot of DMs about the jacket. Do you know price point on it?
$199.
$199.
Yep.
So if you sign up for an insider account, you get $50 back. You can buy it
$50
for
back.
$150.
I mean, that sounds like a good purchase to me.
Smoking dill. And then Sig Optics. We need to shout out Sig Optics again. I sometimes I miss them, but wanted to shout those guys out as a sponsor of the podcast. Good friends of ours, and they make an awesome product, which I think you're familiar with.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is that what you use?
Yeah. Sig. Yeah.
Sig Optics. What do you use the Zulus?
Oh yes. Yes.
You like them?
Yeah.
Were
I
you-
don't have the pros.
Yep.
But yeah, I love them.
What power?
I think I'm running the 16s.
Okay.
16 by 42.
Best magnification.
I like the 12s.
Really?
I think 12s.
Yeah, I feel like the 12 is brighter, and I get everything that I want. I have enough magnification, but I don't feel like I'm lacking.
You think with your eyes, you'd want more.
Yeah, your old eyes.
Yeah.
You guys leave my eyes alone. No, but I do like the 12s.
Yeah.
Do you use anything else? It's rangefinder
Yeah.
of theirs?
Yeah. 8K.
Rifle scopes, rifles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you got a sawtooth?
Yes, I do.
You've taken it out?
Yeah. I killed my bull with it last year, 7 PRC.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Shoots good, huh?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, dumped the bull, so
Yeah? One shot?
Yeah. I put 2 in him. I was by myself, so I was like, I better just double check here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
Did you end up hauling it out on your own?
No, I had some help on that. Thank goodness. But
Gotcha.
Yeah. It was cutting up an elk by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's a lot of work, huh?
Yeah, it was in a snowstorm, like furthest ridge from the Razor. I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But made it.
Yeah, but that's how you get it done, right? You don't limit yourself, and I mean, there's probably some consideration of like how far can I actually get this thing out, but in a lot of ways, it's like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'll get the animal killed and I'll get it figured out.
Then I'll figure it out later.
Yeah, and as long as you're not jeopardizing the animal because it's hot weather or something like that, there's some considerations to make there. But if you're hunting late season with a rifle, it's like just get the thing killed, then figure it out.
Yeah. The meat was frozen solid the next
Was it?
morning. Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I made a little mistake, but we learn as we go, right? I was like, I'm gonna debone the front shoulders tomorrow in the daylight, and I'm gonna hack at the elbow tomorrow. I was like, I just got to get him like skinned and quartered and like laid out. Yeah, I came back and the next morning I like went to put my knife and it was just like, I was like, oh well.
So you ended up packing out whole shoulders.
Yes.
Yikes.
Ouch.
Yes. Yikes.
Ouch. No.
And the first one with I packed the hind out first and I just had like a hoof like up. I was like, you're an idiot.
You didn't cut the hoof off?
Well, I went to cut him off like.
But you couldn't.
No, it was frozen solid.
Gotcha.
So I packed in the little hand, like the little just battery powered saw and hacked off all four legs.
That's always one of my favorite social media comments. Is somebody packs out an elk quarter and you'll see the hoof and the hide on the lower half sticking out of the top of the backpack, and inevitably some person just cannot resist. Oh, why don't you cut the joint?
Yeah.
Save yourself 5 pounds.
Yeah. Well, I wish I would have the night before.
Yeah. So
trust me.
Yeah, you'll get that comment for that picture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't post that one, so
That's smart.
Yeah.
So what brings you to Vegas?
I'm here for the archery shoot.
Okay.
The Vegas shoot.
You shot this morning?
I did. 7 a.m.
Yeah, bright and early. When did you get in last night?
Oh my gosh, it was a rodeo to get here. I think I laid down at like 2 a.m.
Ouch.
So then up at 4:45, had to go make sure my bow traveled well, and
Did you get some practice ends this morning?
I did. Yeah,
How
I
many?
shot 3 practice ends,
And when did you
and
get
then the
there?
2 practice ends of the like the event. But
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
you went to the range and shot 3 practice ends before. Mm-hmm. How'd those go?
a little shaky. I mean, 3 hours of sleep and a little bit of. I had some breakfast and coffee, but it was like the lighting was so rough,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
dark. So it was rough, but
What's so you got here late and then you were shooting early, or just like in any archery shoot in general, like what's your strategy as far as food and drink? Like where you were like, yeah, definitely coffee, or were you like, nah, maybe not coffee because I get jittery?
I definitely was a little light on the coffee this morning. I only had like just a few sips just to get me like
Wake up.
wake up a little bit, and a little bit of food. But usually I like nutrition and like hydration is big, especially for like outdoor shoots. Indoor, I don't worry as much about it, but especially if you're just shooting one game. But I could have used some snacks today because it was so long between like your
between ends.
between your ends, like because
Took forever.
it was forever. Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Speaking of snacks, can you have a snack in the middle
Yeah,
of it?
yeah.
Can
Oh,
you reach into your
yeah.
archery
Yeah.
water
Yeah.
and like
Oh,
grab a snack
yeah.
out?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, which I would think. I think a snack would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Like I took some water today, but I was like, I gotta go easy on that, or I'm gonna have to like run out and pee during
Yeah.
the middle of my
Same.
which ain't gonna be good. But
Same.
yeah, I wish I'd have brought a snack.
Yeah.
Do you shoot differently on an empty stomach versus with some food in your stomach? Do you notice the difference?
I don't
No?
know. I usually mostly always have food in my stomach. So
Gotcha. Like to eat, huh?
I like to eat. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't shoot very good on an empty stomach.
Yeah. I don't do much well on an empty stomach. So
Huh. So how did it go?
it went good. I mean, I'm not much of an indoor archer. I love outdoor,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm kind of like, I'm shooting open flights for the first time. So
Okay.
I'm shooting a lens and
Stabilizers?
yeah.
How long?
Well, okay. So I just like to do things my own way.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of my
Your thing?
MO.
Your jam?
Yeah. So I had like a full target setup. And like I was running a Supra, big long, 30-inch Denali bars on the front, and, big back bar and everything. And then I don't know if a target bow is for me, but I like the scope and the, like that's cool. And so I hodgepodge together a Mach 33
Okay.
in like a hunting setup with a scope. So I'm shooting just the Skylines, or I think I've got the,
Are you shooting short bars then?
yeah, I think I've got a 15 on the front.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like a 15 and a 10 or
Yeah,
15 and 12?
10. Yeah.
How much weight are you running?
On it.
Yeah.
11 up front,
Oh,
6 in the
pretty
back.
heavy, pretty heavy though.
Okay.
It's pretty heavy because it's a carbon bow, so it was super light.
Sure.
But it was like I felt like, and I'm probably gonna get nailed for this, but like I didn't like the big long stabilizers on a really light bow because it felt like just the weight and the feel was just not for me. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I took off the Denali's and just put on the Skylines, and I mean, I don't know, shooting fine, but
Yeah.
like it's more the operator than the equipment.
How many pounds are you shooting?
So I've got 70-pound limbs on there, and I've got it cranked all the way out to like 56 pounds.
Okay.
So hodgepodge.
Backed out. Does that mess with your draw length at all?
The drawing's fine. 26 and a half.
Feels normal?
Feels normal. Yeah, feels good.
Yeah, as you back those out, you'll gain a little bit typically. Change the angle of it. I know that like with my bow right now, if I'm tinkering with draw length, I'll just like play with the limb bolts in and out and see if like a 16th what it might feel like before I make any adjustments to my cables.
Mine are backed out.
They're about to pop out.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine, guys. Like
Some epoxy holding it on there
yeah,
so
it's
it doesn't fall
fine.
out.
A little Loctite probably. I just like to do my own thing. And the guy I work with at our shop, Jesse, he's awesome. He's like heck of a shooter, and he's like, we can do this. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's try this. So I'm way more comfortable shooting a hunting bow. Like it's like home to me. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was happy with how I shot this morning.
Yeah. Were you nervous?
And you beat Trail, I heard.
Yeah, beat me bad. Badly.
So-
I did beat Trail.
Yeah, I'll own it. Yeah, she just absolutely whipped my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people did. That's and that's
fine.
okay.
That's
yeah,
fine.
I mean, I expected more of myself, which is fine. I shot better scores at my home, but that's me in my sweatpants in my kitchen.
It's different. It's very
yeah,
different.
way different. Yeah, I've never shot like a full line. A bunch of people. I had like fair warning. So Neville talked to me. Neville shot great today, by the way.
You did.
Yeah, he was.
Did I beat him?
No. Oh, yeah, you did actually. You did by a couple.
Like,
he dropped, but he dropped 3 points in his
the
last two arrows.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, but he was just shooting really good, just pounding. He's been putting really a lot of effort into it, but he was shooting like local leagues in Fort Collins where he lives. And after the first time he did, I talked to him. I was like, "How was leagues?" And he was like, "Man, it was like really. It's pretty hard to stay focused." He's like with like people around you and just kind of the ambiance, the talking, and the arrows going off and stuff. And he's like, I think you might have to, because I never shoot with I've never shot with anybody ever. Like I just don't. Yeah, I just go me and my dog,
Yeah.
or just me in my kitchen. But yeah, that was like the first thing I noticed was like the first end, I was like pretty locked in and like 310s felt great, couple X's. Second end, I was like kind of waning a little bit. And then my first bad arrow. After that, I kind of like, I don't know. I just started it was really hard to focus.
Yeah.
I became super distracted.
Yeah.
It felt like.
Yeah. That was different. I've only ever shot like outdoor, like competitions or whatever, but we do some indoor leagues and stuff like that. So I've had that like shooting pressure experience. And the only other tournament I've ever shot was like a really small indoor one, like in Pocatello. But I hated that because it was so small. And I shot at 7 a.m. Like, I don't know why I get these early flight times, like sucks for knock times. But
yeah, she likes a challenge.
Yeah, she hates waking up early. So why don't you put her at 7 a.m.? But it was harder because it was a small venue and you were shooting with like 15 people, but it was dead quiet.
Oh,
so
really?
I like the chatter and the noise and like other people's bows going off. But it was a lot today.
Yeah, I like the quiet, I think. Yeah, I had people talking to me, and I was like, "What is this?" It was just like, and then I had I think I was telling you earlier, but I had the timer was right above my bail.
Oh, nice.
So and I had plenty of time. Like I never got down to the wire, but out of my peripheral vision, like top of my scope, I would like see the clock going down, just ticking, and I was like,
that'd be kind of hard.
That would be
it
hard.
doesn't matter at all. That's the funny thing about all this is it's like. I mean, mentally you should be able to handle that, right? It's like it's the name of the game is being able to mentally adjust and focus and handle the situation. But I was really surprised at like how distracted I was.
Yeah.
The other part that I found really hard is like my intensity or like my competitiveness kind of waned pretty quick. I was just like, I just want to shoot. I'm just shooting arrows. So that was something I'm gonna have to work through and deal with.
Well, new day tomorrow.
New day tomorrow, and that's it. Yeah, just try to improve on what I did today, and hopefully I shoot a better score tomorrow, and just try to get a little bit better. And the whole reason I wanted to do this, one, I love, and I'd be interested in your take, but I genuinely really love archery. Like I'm fascinated by it, and I like the equipment, and I like watching it on TV, and I like everything about it. And I think for me, the reason I kind of wanted to do this was to just be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've felt as uncomfortable as I did this morning in a really long time.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I've always wanted to shoot this, but I've never really been like I shoot indoor to like be better outdoor and be a better hunter and like all those things. I've never really taken it very seriously. And this year I like took it seriously and like this was a goal. And yeah, it's good to be uncomfortable, I think.
Yeah. Helps you grow, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping. And ultimately that's all I really want is like if I get a little bit better so that September comes up and I just feel more adjusted and I feel like I'm more confident on an animal. Then I did it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you feel more pressure, more anxiety today than you would on an animal? Or
100%.
Isn't that interesting?
It's like these competitions and like the few that I've shot like outdoor, I will shake like I will like I'll look like something's wrong with me. Like I'll go to clip on my D loop and I like miss it. I'm so nervous, but like I feel like those like situations and like experiences, I don't feel that anymore on animals. I get excited and I get like, I get amped up, but like, I don't feel like when I come to full draw, I'm like, it's game time. Like it's
on an animal.
On an animal. Yeah. This, I'm like at full draw, like worrying about everything else. Like,
Yeah.
So
I find it so bizarre as I was thinking about it this afternoon. It's like, there's no consequences.
There's none.
It's literally paper. And there's so many people and nobody really on my target but was shooting any better than I was, so it's not like I was walking down there to like a 30x game.
Yeah.
So there's really there's literally no pressure whatsoever in reality.
Yeah.
And in the woods you're you're taking a life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that equates to me being I felt way more comfortable shooting at an elk than I did today.
Same.
On my first
That's weird.
Even my last arrow,
yeah,
I would
same.
say I felt more comfortable on an animal than I did on my last arrow today.
I think the last arrow was the worst arrow.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd given up by then.
Well, I knew what I like. I had shot 2 10s already, and I was like, all right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Another 10, like,
Gotcha.
And then you put the pressure on to like,
Yeah.
finish strong. So,
do you get buck fever, like on an animal?
no, not really.
You don't?
Not really.
You don't get the adrenaline?
I get the adrenaline, but I don't get the like. I get excited, but I don't like.
Do you get excited post?
Yes. Yeah.
That's when I always do too. Yeah.
I mean, I get excited before, but like as soon as like I draw back or as soon as that thing's in my crosshairs, like it goes away. Like it's just calm.
So how do you do that? What's your process?
I don't know. You have to ask the brain upstairs. It just does
Dive
it.
into the brain.
Oh, I don't know if you want to do that.
Let's get in there.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I just, like you're saying, like I'm way more relaxed and way more, like the stakes are way higher, but I also know that I put in all the work to execute.
Yeah, the more times you've done it. That's the thing with shooting an elk. I've shot a lot of elk, and I kind of know what to expect. Versus this, I didn't really know what to expect exactly. Like try to envision it, work it through in your mind, what it's going to feel like, smell like, what the room is going to be like, noise. And you can't, I couldn't really like totally capture it because I just never done it, I've been and watched it really, but you can't really put yourself in those shoes until you actually toe the line. And it's definitely way different than I thought.
So it sounds like that with time, it might feel similar.
Yeah.
More calm and like, like, okay, this is what I do every single day. I've done these tournaments a ton. Like,
I think that's the thing, right? People that are good at it probably got really good at it because they did it a lot.
Yeah, these people winning, it's like, that's what they do.
For sure. Yeah. It's like second nature. Yeah. And I would say it's not second nature for me on an elk by any means, but it's definitely way more comfortable at this stage in the game than it was like my first one or two.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Do you have a process when you shoot like today? So do you, what do you work us through it?
It depends on like how I'm shooting and like, so when I'm shooting outdoor, I don't really have much of a process. I just make sure I'm like anchored and all that, but indoor, I feel like it's so like form driven and so technique driven. So, I have it like written down in my notes actually. And so I nock my arrow the same way every time. Like I hold my bow the same, like on my hip, cause I don't have big long stabilizers. So I shoot the same 3 arrows, they're numbered, and nock it the same, hook onto the D-loop the same, hand pressure the same, and then I draw.
Are you talking to yourself?
In my brain.
Are you saying like, okay, draw my bow? I'm gonna draw my bow.
Not necessarily draw, but like that part is just so muscle memory. But as I draw and anchor, my first thing is, okay, anchor, front hand, because like I have a hard time with like hand pressure. Like my front hand is usually the culprit of anything that I do Like any miss, it's usually my front hand.
Really?
Yeah. And then I'm shooting a hinge with a click. I have been shooting a hinge with no click for a long time. So now I'm getting back into the click. But basically, as soon as like targets lined up, you know, peep housing, everything's like pretty lined up, thumb off the peg, which hits my click. And then basically what I've been saying lately, so once my front hand's relaxed and everything's lined up, I'm anchored, nose to the string, like I'm saying all those things. Today what worked was relax and pull. And I just try to relax and pull that backhand through.
Gotcha.
What is your reason for going back to a click? Because I'm the opposite. I'm going away from
the click. So my first hinge ever was a safety hinge, like a Carter Honey. And so there was no click, but the safety was my click essentially. So I had no click. And then I went to the Ultra View 1, which is the one I'm shooting now, and click. And then I went to a tangent, B3 tangent with a click. And then I went away from the click. I can't remember why, because I just went away from the click for a while, and I shot it for like a year with no click. And then I was struggling probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago shooting. And sometimes like you just have to change things. So I put my tangent in my pouch and I pulled out my old Ultra View 1 and went back to the click, and it's been good. So it was just, I needed change. Yeah. And without changing a bunch of other stuff, I just changed releases, and
yeah, it was an easy change to make.
Yeah, it was good. But the click has been helpful, like especially today, like making me like stay honest and like not get out of my process.
Yeah, cheating it.
Yeah.
Do you ever have a problem ripping it?
No.
No, yeah, I haven't either.
And my problem is it won't go off.
Yeah,
I just freeze.
Yeah, my biggest issue is I'll start to collapse.
Yep, I'll collapse, or I'll come out of my peep as I'm trying to pull.
Yep, or I'll pull harder, like I was telling you earlier, and I'll heel it out. So it's like pull, like my heel pressure in my palm starts to increase, and I'll blow it out the top. And all my misses today, the worst misses, I should say, were all heel pressure culprits, just pushing it out and tipping it out, which makes me interested in maybe going with like a steeper degree of grip, so that I've got a little bit more back pressure there that I can push into with maybe out those bangs.
Yeah, I do have the Ultra View, like the deadly one. It was from my Levitate, and I just hodgepodged it on because that's how I roll, and it's like loose and stuff, and
like
I just
the Be Real grip. The Be Real grip.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, is that what it is? It's like it's the Dudley one, the Ultra View.
Yep.
I don't know. It's been on 3 bows now.
Okay.
So it's kind of.
It's got a pretty good angle to it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, but it's like taped onto my
gotcha.
onto my bow right now. It's very classy.
Mine's pretty low wrist. It runs like clear to my palm, which I think sometimes when it breaks clean, it's great. But I think I have a tendency, like I said, to push it out the top. I don't know, all this tinkering, huh?
I know.
It's just like a complete mind f.
Yeah, for sure. I had to just stop tinkering. Like I had to just like stop messing with stuff. I like switched my bars. I, like switched releases, and I was just like, I'm done. Like I'm just gonna shoot this setup and just because as soon as this shoot's done, like I'm done looking at a yellow dot until November. Like I'm over it. Like I'm ready to shoot outdoors. So then I'll get set up for outdoor. And
my biggest problem is like I'll get it set up. It'll be shooting good. I'll be improving, but then I think, could I improve further if I change the angle of this back bar and added a twist to this cable and move my D loop up 1/8 of an inch?
So were you tuning and tweaking things as of like 3 days before?
So the arrows I'm shooting right now, I cut and fletched. What day did I get here? Wednesday? Yeah. So I cut and fletched them. Nice. Yeah, some of them Monday.
Yeah, because I was here last Monday. Yeah, you had the arrows.
I haven't shot the arrows I'm shooting right now through paper, so I know that for a fact. So
that's fine. Minor details.
Which is, 20 yards. I'm like, how important is a paper tune, right? It's probably important, but if you do the same thing every time, it should hit dot. But I don't know. I'm figuring it out. I'm learning. I got tinkeritis bad.
And see, I'm not a tinkerer.
Really?
No, I'm like set it, forget it, don't touch it, don't even look at it.
I can't do that.
Yeah, but should do that. With a target bow, though, I've learned that the more tinkering, the better. But then I think there's a point where you need to stop and shoot your equipment and stop messing with it.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at right now.
How much did you shoot prior to this, like indoor? Like how long have you been like working at it, prepping for it?
Oh, like months.
Really?
Like really hitting it hard the last month, like every single day.
Do you shoot every day?
Most days.
Most days? Even throughout the summer and like prior to hunts, you like
summer,
you like shooting?
Oh yeah, spring and summer and that's like way better to shoot outdoors. But
Yeah.
in the winter, not so much every day, but prepping for Vegas, I was hammering. So
What do you like about it?
about archery?
Yeah.
Oh, because you can only think about what you're doing at that moment in time.
That's not true. I've proved
Well,
it.
I know you can, and then you miss. So be
You can
safe.
think about all
Trail.
kinds of
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. That's when you miss.
I promise you can.
Yeah.
I'll teach you how.
Yeah. No, I don't need to do that. I just like focusing on my process and shooting, and it's therapeutic. It's nice. It's like instant, gratification when you hit where you're aiming, and
Yeah,
especially in the,
when it goes well, it's great, huh?
yeah, when it's not going well, it's not fun. So, and I've been there like a lot of times where things just aren't going well. It's usually my own issues, but
I wish I could figure that out. I was asking somebody the other day. I was asking Colby Hanley because he's on this 30X, road to 30X, right? So he didn't shoot for a really long time. It used to be like a really consistent competitive shooter. Like a 30X game for him was something that was super achievable relatively often. And he's got this whole series going on YouTube now, the road to 30X. And I was asking him, in this process, do you see like ebbs and flows of like improvement and then regression? Do you have days where, week maybe where you just aren't shooting well? And I was trying to figure out why, because I have that. Like I'll have days where it just seems like I'm on fire and can't miss. And I have days where it's just like, I can't buy an X,
yeah.
And I'm so, do you have days where your draw length feels long or too short?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. And it just depends. Like, I feel like it depends on like how much I've been shooting and like working out and like, am I sore? Am I tight? Am I,
Gotcha.
I think it depends on a lot of things. Hydration, I think.
I
I don't know. I think it's all the things. But yeah, there's days I walk in there, I'm like, is this even my bow?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. 2 days ago, I took like a half turn out of my limbs and shot great. I was like, oh, great. That's the secret sauce,
Yeah.
And then I came down, shot you last night, and I was like, man, my draw length feels long. this feels longer than it did the day before. But yeah, I can't quite figure it out. But I mean, your body must change, right, from day to day. It's, I guess you have to shoot enough to kind of know that and then how to react to it. But
Basically, the whole time I've been hearing you talk, Tro, we need to take away your Allen wrenches at least like 2 weeks before a shoot.
you know what you need to do is
Just
just
don't
like
let it
maybe
adjusting.
electrolysis or something. Just freeze what's going on between my ears because that's the biggest issue, I think. Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem. I don't think it's the equipment by any means.
yeah, it's always me. It's always my issue. Usually.
Me too, for sure. How did you get into archery?
Well, I've always rifle hunted with my dad, and then
Like when you were a kid?
yeah. I just like went along because he lived in Oregon, I lived in Idaho, so I just kind of went along as a little sidekick. And then
Did you start hunting? Like when did you start hunting like with your dad?
With my dad?
With
I
your
think
own
I was
tag.
15,
Okay.
my first year tag. And he moved to Idaho, so then we started hunting Idaho, and 15. But I ran cross country, so like all my fall was running, and like districts and state meets were in the middle of hunting season. So yeah.
Well, if I knew you were a cross country runner, we'd have had you an Omar race.
No, I don't run anymore. I don't run anymore. No, I run for Memorial Day Murph. So I run my,
Yeah.
Okay,
my
there you
2
go.
miles
Do that one.
on
Yeah.
Memorial Day. One to start, one to finish. But yeah, so grew up hunting with my dad, and yeah, then kind of everything got put on hold. Went to college and always wanted to hunt and like kill big stuff, and and then my ex-boyfriend from like high school, his aunt was like just a killer with a bow, like
Really?
big whitetails, like like they had property up north, like North Idaho.
Okay.
And yeah, she'd kill like turkeys and like big whitetails with her bow, and I was always like, I want to do that. And like I always wanted to kill a bull with a bow. Like I'd hunted elk once with my dad in high school, and like that's about all I got. And I was like, man, I want to kill a bull with my bow, or with a bow, I guess. I didn't have a bow. And then went to college, everything on hold, and then picked up archery about 10 years ago, and
just
never
loved
looked
it.
back. Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, you grew up hunting with your dad, but the fact you brought up an ex-boyfriend's mom,
His aunt.
his aunt,
Yeah, his
His
aunt.
aunt?
Yeah.
was that cool because she was a woman?
Yeah, it was cool because
Really?
like I grew up like, my dad hunted,
Yeah.
and my uncle, and like, and there wasn't like social media where there are these women, out hunting, it was Aunt Robin, we would go duck hunting, and then she'd show pictures of her giant whitetail she killed out of like a ground blind with her bow. And I was just like, hell yeah. Like,
yeah.
She was like just this beautiful woman, and just out just killing giants. I was like, I want to do that. I could do that. So I always had like the aspiration to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like you have that influence that walks into your life, and you wonder if that was a different person, you know, maybe a different gender, if it would have registered with you the same way. But yeah, you know, it's a female, another female, and you saw that in her, and was like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah, and I was always interested in hunting. Like I always wanted to go hunting, you know, but sports and school, and then college, and then you know all those things just got in the way. But
When did you first start like venturing out on your own? Like, I mean, how do you think about hunting right now as far as being a female going out on your own? Like, is it something you wanted to jump headlong into, and how's the process been?
Well, that was kind of new for me last fall. The bull I killed by myself. I've gone out, like I've killed like 2 antelope by myself, but antelope hunting is, you know, you're sitting over water. It's very different. So, and I've done some elk hunting by myself and stuff, but yeah, no, the solo hunting is definitely going to be new for me. But I wanted to kill another bull last year, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna go. So I think it'll be very, very interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, I think I mean, if you look at the interest in our content, or the interest in like insiders and signups and the people that buy stuff in our gear shop, the female contingency it's growing, it's improving, but I mean, there's still not like a lot of women out hunting.
Yeah.
And, you know, I very rarely see a woman out hunting on their own. I remember being in college, which has been forever ago. It's been a really long time, but I remember I was archery spike elk hunting, and I was going to Utah State, and I was sitting on this ridge. It was like midday. I was just kind of having a nap, kind of laid up underneath a shade tree, and woke up, and I could hear voices like kind of walking up the ridge. And I remember thinking, that sounds like a woman, you know? And I sat up, and 2 women come walking up, bows, full camo and everything. And I remember thinking at the time, like, how weird that was. I remember thinking, like, this is the most bizarre thing. And I mean, it's been forever ago. It's been a long time, but I remember genuinely thinking, like, this is so strange. Like, it's so weird. It really caught me off guard, you know? But, you know, certainly there's more women that are into hunting, which I think is awesome. I think it's super cool. But I don't know that there's as many as that probably want to be, because I think there's some interest in it.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think the biggest hurdle is as a female into getting into hunting? Like, what's the highest hurdle? What would you say it was for you? And it might be different because you grew up hunting a little bit, but like...
Yeah, I had some knowledge and some experience and things. Gosh, the biggest hurdle? Oh, man, that's like $1 million question. I don't know. I think it just depends on like the female, you know? You know, it's like, one, it's expensive to just start.
Yep.
You know, I think that's a big hurdle for everybody.
Was it intimidating for you to go into an archery shop and buy a bow, or like?
Luckily, like our archery like community where I'm at is really good. So like, no, it's not. But I do think that is a big hurdle.
Depends on the shop, right?
Yeah, it depends on the shop. Like our shop's great, but maybe another shop isn't.
Who's your local shop?
Archery Idaho.
Okay. Shout out Archery Idaho.
Yeah, shout out Patrick and Jesse. We got 2 locations, one in Idaho Falls, one in Pokey. So yeah, they're good dudes in there. But I would say, yeah, like intimidation is probably a big one for women, and like fear of failure, fear of, you know, like you don't want to embarrass yourself. You don't want to, you know, nobody likes to look dumb or you know, inexperienced, or it doesn't matter what it is.
Today
like,
proved it.
But yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of barriers to entry for women, and then like gear for women, and you know, from everything to, you know, boots to clothing to equipment. You know, it's tough because I mean we're women in a men's world. You know, there's not very many.
Do you think the hunting industry is like? Are we welcoming to females? Would you say, or is it, like we do better?
I mean, I've never really had an issue. I do feel like. I don't know, you're trying to get me on a soapbox here, because
I mean anything that you got to say, I would love to hear. You speak your mind.
It's I think I've not had an issue because I don't know, everybody's been pretty welcoming to me, but I do feel like there is this like sense of like I have to prove myself, because I I was married for the last like 7.5 years, and we did a lot of hunting together the last decade. And I think for a while, people just thought I was like riding on his coattails.
Mm-hmm.
And him and I very much knew that was not what was happening. Like I was just as much of a hunting partner as he was, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's a lot of like proving yourself, but I do feel like guys have to do that too, you know? Like it's interesting because I feel like guys are expected to know everything and expected to know, you know, all the gear questions and all this stuff. And, you know, if you don't know, then I don't know, you look silly or whatever. But then I feel like women are expected not to know anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like a lot of times talking to people about, I'm not even going to, like, just gear in general, they would talk to him about my stuff. And he was like, no, you need to talk to her because she knows, like,
what she needs.
Yeah, she knows what she needs. Here you go. You know, and,
ask her.
But I don't know. I think it's probably as good as it's going to get for a while. I mean, I do feel like there's definitely women in the hunting industry that are doing it for the right reasons because they love it and they want to do it and they want to go kill elk and they want to go hunting and they want to be in the woods. And then I think there's a lot that are doing it for the wrong reason that give us that are doing it for the correct reasons a bad rap.
Does that grind your gears?
It does. It really does.
Really?
It really does.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what do you think of like the current landscape of social media? And it's different for men because it's like, you know, we're all...
But I think there's a lot of men also doing it for the very wrong reasons too. Like you see that a lot.
Yes.
Like, really?
Yes. Agreed.
I don't know. This is an interesting question, and one that I wrestle with quite a lot. Because there was a time when I used to be really hypercritical of people, of why, like, their reasons and their values for why they like to hunt or why they post what they post. And I used to be like that, like, oh, that guy's just doing it for the wrong reasons. He's doing it for the likes and the clicks and the views. I don't know. I've kind of had like a little bit of a flip in that, like, I feel like if the individual's like doing it legally and they value the animal and they're going out and doing it, and if part of their motivation is that they just want likes and shares, then I'm like, I don't know. I guess that's what they value. It kind of, I don't know, bastardizes it a little bit for me, you know? But again, I'm like trying to be a little less critical of folks, but I think it's different for women. Oh yeah. Cause like, I think I feel like there's a big difference. Is there? Would you say?
I would say there's a difference. Yeah. I mean, you know, I've seen things on social media where it's like, look at this gun I'm shooting, but you can't see it because my tits are in the, you know, mostly filling the frame. Like, I'm like, wait, what gun is that? Like, you know, but I don't know. Those are the,
it is interesting.
That's an extreme case, of course, but like, I don't know.
It's
a weird place.
Do you think that hurts like the perception of women and getting into hunting?
Yes.
And,
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
I've had a lot of conversations about this, and it's hard. It's hard to.
So what do you want to be? What do you want to be as far as?
I want to be.
I mean, yeah. When I grow up, I'm
going to be 32 this year. So maybe this is the year I'll grow up. Yeah.
I'd have never thought that.
What were you thinking?
Like 28.
Oh wow.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How old? 32?
Yeah, 32 in June.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Brady, how old are you gonna be?
I'll be 39 in June.
Oh.
What day?
June 6th.
Oh, 26th.
Dang. Right. We got sixes in there.
Yeah, sixes.
Juners.
Yeah.
I'll be 46.
Wow, a lot of sixes going around.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Stings.
You're just a young pup.
Stings just a little.
Yeah.
But what do you want to do? Like, as far as like within the space, like what's important? I know that, like, are you looking to like grow a social presence? Are you trying to like mentor? I see. The reason I bring it up is because and the reason I admire you actually is because I see you do like ladies' night shoots, right, at the local archery club, and it's just you guys get together, and I feel like for a woman that would be like a much more welcome, enticing environment than showing up where you're probably going to be one or two females on the line with a whole bunch of dudes that act like, you know, they know what the hell they're doing and kind of just, you know, leave them out. But I think that's really awesome and something that like I admire. So are you looking to do more of that kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know about the social presence. Had one for a long time, and now I'm just on my own social platform, just my personal. I've just been a ghost on there. Yeah, which is, I like it.
Sometimes it's okay.
It's nice. But I don't know. I'll probably get back to that eventually. But yeah, like mentorship and like women's clinics and like those kinds of things. Like I love that. Like teaching somebody how to shoot a bow is like probably one of the coolest things you can do. And like watch them enjoy it and improve. And like, you know, one of the girls that goes to the CrossFit gym I go to, she is like hardcore skier, like interior designer, mom, wife, you know, all those things. And we were at the gym one Saturday morning and said something about ladies' night the night before. And she was kind of like, oh, what's ladies' night? What's this about, you know? And I was like, oh, it's just like this, you know, archery thing I put on for girls, and like we go and shoot bows. And I'm just talking to her as a friend that I work out with, you know, a couple times a week. And she was like, can I come? And I was like, what? Like, you're not even like
cool.
into the, like, this isn't even like your jam. And she was like, oh, can I come? And I was like, absolutely. And she was like, I don't have anything. I was like, well, I got you. Like, we have stuff to like set up. And I set her up with a bow. And Patrick, the shop owner, I mean, that dude will give you the bow out of his hand to shoot. He's a good dude. He loves archery and wants everybody to do it. And so we set her up like one of the shop bows, and she came like every Friday. And Patrick was just like, just hang on to it. Like, just shoot it for the winter. Like, just hang on to the bow, hang on to the release, hang on to the arrows. Like, and so she came like every week. By the end of like the winter, because we just do ladies' night in the winter, she bought a bow, bought a setup, everything. Like,
That's
bought a
cool.
target, and she just like shoots now. And she, no interest in hunting.
Totally random. It's like gym conversation led to
Yes.
that. Wow.
And she's like, yeah, not a hunter. Like, just likes to shoot. She likes the therapy. Like, you know, it's therapeutic. You go out there and you just shoot some arrows, and it feels good.
Yeah.
See, wonder how many more, you know, women are out there like that.
Yeah.
And if you just mention it, like, hey, we're doing this, but it's like, yeah, the setup is the hard part.
But yeah.
But if you had extra bows, like, more women would just do it, and then we'd get addicted to it.
Yeah. And I think I mean, she's like one of those, like, you know, she's a really good skier and she's good at CrossFit. Like, she has that drive to do better. And I think that's what's cool about archery is like, there's drive to do better all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and which is
It's
why
individual,
I like it.
right? I mean, you're working against, you know, you're competing obviously with other people when you're shooting a shoot like we are today, but you're also you're just like working on yourself, you know, which I love the individual aspect of that.
Yeah. But it was cool. Like, just to watch her like go through that whole process and be able to like help her and like help her buy a bow and like
That's cool.
what bow to buy and all that stuff. And one thing I will say, ladies, is like, don't let like the hunting space put you in a box of like what bow you need to shoot. You know, like there's bow companies that make some women bows. I'm sure they're great, but like, don't limit yourself because there's so many bows out there that would be great for you as well. Like, I think we got her set up in like a V3X. Like, I can't remember what limbs we put on there, but like, and she's a small girl. Like, she's shorter than me. Like, she's like a short draw length, but like, we didn't put her in like a brand new female bow, you know, because there's more out there than maybe like marketing leads you on to believe. But,
Yeah. I think it's really cool that you do that. How is it? So it runs through the winter?
Yeah.
Is it one night a week or?
So we did it every Friday for the first winter, and it just became like too much for me because I was running it every Friday night.
Oh, gotcha.
It was fun. It was great.
Yeah. And how many people would you get?
It just depended on the night.
Okay.
Like, I think one night we had like 18.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I was like wrangling 18 women, and we're drinking margaritas. And it's like, I'm like, oh boy.
This sounds like way more fun.
It is. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, responsibly have a margarita and shoot your bow, but like,
disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. But like, it's still very safe. But like, I think it was just a good place for them to just like, get out of the house, get away from their job, their families, and we would just have fun and shoot and improve. And that was like the cool part. So we did it every Friday for the first winter. That became way too much. And then we do like once a month.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be fun to do more of that type of stuff. For sure.
Yeah. So we good.
Do you want to talk about your elk hunt last year?
Yeah.
I want to hear all about it.
It was the best.
I want to hear when you drew. I want to hear all the details.
Like when I drew the tag, when I
drew the tag.
When I drew the tag.
And what is your process? Like, how much do you apply? Do you apply in a lot of states? Or?
Like Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, Nevada,
Okay.
Idaho.
So quite a few.
Quite a few.
Yeah, it's a decent amount.
Yeah, decent.
So you apply in Utah?
So I apply in Utah and just like, I don't know, swing for the fences. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
How did you pick the unit that you
Let me
applied?
tell you. Let me
Okay.
tell you. So I went to the Hunt Expo and I
Okay.
did the $5 draw or
Yep.
whatever, the $5 tag.
Yep.
And I remember like reading through like Archery Elk, and I was like reading through the units, and I was like, oh, should I? I don't. Do I say the unit?
I don't think you should.
It's the secret unit that nobody can know. But
This is the first time I've ever heard Trail be tight-lipped when you talk about elk and you talk about big bulls. Every other time he's like, Brady, you need to start talking about units. Why don't you talk about units on deer? I'm like, I like to keep my stuff hidden.
Some things
Anyway.
are truly sacred, Brady.
Okay.
yeah, better than mule deer.
Jeez, I'm getting picked on here.
Anyway,
Anyway.
super top secret unit.
Okay.
I saw it, and I'm very like, everything happens for a reason. Timing is everything. All those like
You're vibey.
like all those stupid cliche sayings and serendipity, all that. I'm very
Live, laugh,
much.
love.
What?
I was
Do you,
saying random
do you,
sayings.
do you gamble?
No, I've gambled like $20 in my life. I
You
sucked.
have?
Yeah.
I spent $100 last night. I was walking around the casino, and that's what I was doing. I was trying to vibe out the right machine.
Oh, see, maybe I should try
Literally
that.
got done talking to Endo yesterday saying you don't gamble.
I know, and then
like,
I did
And
last
then you
night.
did,
I
and you
did.
won-
Yeah,
you
well,
won
I was
or
with
lost?
Neville. I was with Neville and Nick, and they were
Oh,
like,
yeah,
"Hey,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
gamble." I'm like, "Let's
Yeah,
do it."
okay.
Did you win?
No.
Oh, okay.
Which is just but it proves to me I don't have the vibes. I couldn't pick it up. But
Yeah. I don't know if I have the vibes, but I'm very much.
yeah,
like,
you felt
I like that stuff.
You liked it.
And I like saw the name of the unit. I was like, I like that, so I picked it for the $5 thing. And then when it came time to apply, I didn't draw it at the Hunt Expo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which is surprise, surprise. But so when it came to put in, I was like, just put me in for that unit. And then I'm at work, like in May or whatever it was, and I knew because I put in for deer for the general deer tag for Utah, and I knew I saw
Same
it.
unit.
No, different unit.
Okay.
And it's like guaranteed. It's like 99% drawn, like drawn every year. So I'm at work, and I saw on social media that like all the
Cards are getting hit.
cards getting hit. And I'm like, oh, whatever. I didn't even look. at my email. I was like, I drew my deer tag. I didn't draw anything else. Like I'm going about my business, like work the rest of the afternoon. I was waiting for my 4:00 patient, and I was like, just happened to be on my phone. I was like, oh, let me just make sure I drew that deer tag. And I start scrolling down, and I see like limited entry, first choice, successful. And I was like, whoa, wait.
The data just got better.
Yeah. And I was like, wait, what? And I like an idiot, I was like, that's not right. So I like cleared my like inbox app out and like restarted it to like double check. I thought I was like dyslexic or something. And I like read it again, and I was like, oh shit.
Wow.
I like, because we were going to hunt Wyoming.
Yeah.
Like Wyoming was the plan because we had points to draw it. And I was like, well, my September just changed drastically.
You'd already applied in Wyoming then, because
Yeah.
that's in January.
Yeah.
And like we were going to draw it. Like we knew we were
Did
going
you
to
do
draw
it in time to like modify your app, or did you draw Wyoming also?
I drew Wyoming
Oh,
also.
so you doubled up.
Yeah, and I didn't get to hunt Wyoming like
At
for
all.
myself, so I burned my points.
Gotcha.
Yep, bummer.
That's a real stinger.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's a really common question that we get. Like, what do you do if you draw too many tags?
Yeah, well,
So what did you do? What's your frame of mind in that situation? You got a Wyoming elk tag. You have a Utah limited entry tag.
all eggs in the Utah limited entry.
Yeah.
I was like, Wyoming, awesome. I want to hunt it, but
Yeah.
everything goes. My brain is just laser focused on.
Did you
Utah.
know anything about that area?
Not really.
Really?
Not really. Once I drew it, I reached out to some
Yeah.
people, and you were one of them. You had some info for me, which was really helpful, and a couple other guys, and
You got some scouting trips in, I know, because I started getting video. I remember you were like, "How big is this bull?" And like, very big.
yeah, very big. Yeah, somebody ended up killing him on the rifle tag.
Yeah, I talked to a guy actually just the other day that DM'd me and said, "Have you seen this bull?" And I said, "Yeah, actually, I have." And he hunts the same unit, and he was kind of asking me like, "Do you know where it was killed?" I know it was killed on the rifle hunt, and then he did a little digging and come to find out it was like a friend's grandpa or something, and we kind of picked it apart and figured out where he killed it. But yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Turns out he killed it right where.
Yeah, right where he pretty
right
much
where
where he was.
But we could never find him. We spent a couple days looking for him, and I was like, "Look, like he's big, but I don't want to just focus on one bull." You know.
How much time did you put into that animal, that one bull? How many days?
I think looked for him for not many, couple
Really?
days. Yeah.
And then you bounced.
Then I was like, we weren't seeing many bulls over there.
Yeah,
You know.
that little spot starts to deteriorate. It's definitely a bachelor herd,
Yeah.
summer range, and then
Yeah.
they kind of filter out.
Yeah.
But
So I didn't want to spend too much time
Mm-hmm.
So you see that bull a lot scouting?
One time.
Only
And
once?
I didn't get to go on the scouting trip. But I just
You had to work.
Yeah, somebody had to work. Yeah, teeth needed to be cleaned. But yeah, I think they saw him once, maybe twice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
You get pretty excited when you saw that bull?
I was like, he's big.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how big he is, but he's big.
He'll
He'll
do.
do. Yeah, I think he went 393.
Yeah,
Is that what you heard?
That's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
I asked the guy, I said, do you think that bull was actually mid 390s? And he said that, because remember I told you I thought it was like 384, 85 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
He said that when they originally had it scored, I think the taxidermist, it was like 384. And then somebody else scored it and it was like 390. 394. So somebody
Where'd you find 10 inches?
somebody stretched some inches out, which is fine. I don't care. It's neither here nor there. But I remember
He's a big bull.
Yeah, but giant.
And he's got
yeah,
cool
giant
backs.
bull. Absolute giant.
His back end was cool.
For sure. Did you, when you left that area, were you like back of your mind, like, ugh, I don't know if I should take off?
Yeah, I was torn, but it goes back to that like gut feeling and that like, timing and all those things. Like
Intuition.
Intuition. I was just like, I don't want to say I don't want to waste time on that bull, but like I didn't want to spend too much time because I knew like one, like it was, were we going to find him? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
How do you make that decision? Like,
I literally like, what's your answer right now? And I just go like I just,
because with the coveted tag, you kind of got to either go all in and not kill or still get a really, really, really good bull, but not that one.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe.
and I kind of went into it like with an open mind too. I was like, yeah, I'd love to kill that bull. That bull is a tank. Like, hell yeah. But I also want to just kill a big bull. Like I want to, like my parameters were just big, old warrior. That's it. Like I didn't have like, 6-pointer, 5-point or anything. Like 350 was kind of my minimum score, like hope, I guess. And that's pretty much all I went into. I actually passed on a bull on day 2 that was probably like a 350 bull, long tines, long beams, but he just looked like a teenage elk. And I just was not on this. Like, okay, if that would have been at home, I would have had an arrow off so fast you wouldn't even have like, but like on this tag, I was like, man, like he's a great bull, but like on day 2, he's not exactly what I'm after. I don't want to be picky. There was this like fine balance of like, I want to be picky, but I don't want to be too picky because I don't want to eat my tag.
No.
When you say day 2, what stage of that hunt are we? Are we talking like August 17th when it opens up in Utah, or
I think it was like September 1st or
okay,
2nd.
so you waited.
Went down for opening weekend
Okay,
for like a day and a half. It was just like a turn and burn trip.
just to look at some country.
Look for. I called him the Wizard Bull because this like a squiggly. Yeah,
He did kind of look wizardly.
wizardly. Yeah. Spent day and a half
Gandalf.
looking for him. Lost my bow the first morning off the back of the razor.
Oh,
gosh.
Yeah, in the case. Yeah,
Oh, that's
got to the
lucky.
glassing point and the bow was gone. So we had to like turn around and go looking for it. And luckily this guy that's like a hound guide picked it up. And I was like panicking. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like
It's probably the Meekums. Do you remember the Clenner McLean Meekum? Does that strike a chord with you?
I can't, Tyson.
Tyson?
Tyson.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, super nice guy. But yeah, we like track him down and I'm like panicking. Like, you looking for this? I was like, yes, I am. Thank you so much.
Oh, gosh.
Like you saved my whole hunt.
So when you show up in September, what's behavior like? What are the elk doing?
They were right. I mean, first morning, September 1st was our first hunt or our first day hunting. They were going absolutely apeshit.
Really?
Like screaming, fighting, like all of it with cows. I was like, holy crap.
Is that different than what you've observed in Idaho?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were just going nuts like every day.
That's what makes it fun, right?
Yeah. It was
Were
exciting.
they running pretty hard the whole time though? The whole hunt?
Yeah, it was pretty steady. Most afternoons we had like little rainstorms.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a couple afternoons we didn't, and they definitely were more shut down the days we like had sun all day.
Yeah.
But they were pretty.
A little hotter.
Yeah, they were pretty active just for the full.
So how are you hunting them? You spot and stock? You call in? Sit in wallows? Water?
Didn't sit any wallows. Didn't sit any water. I'm more of like a doer. I like to go try to make things happen,
Mm-hmm.
make my own mistakes. A lot of calling, a lot of no spot and stock, just lots of calling, and we kind of hunted a lot of the like deep, big canyons on like the
East side?
the east side. Yes.
Everybody knows what unit we're talking about now. But
Yeah. Oh shit. Sorry.
no, that's okay. I don't care.
Yeah. But then, yeah, we were like putting like 10 plus miles on a day, and it was just like, you know, your bull's like bugling down on the bottom. You're like, well, I've got to drop all the way in there to go after him. So then we.
What are they reacting to? Bugles, cow calls? You remember?
I don't remember.
Gotcha.
They were kind of just, it kind of seemed like there was no rhyme or reason to much. But the one thing did learn was like the more aggressive, and this, like I carried this into like Wyoming too. Like, because in Idaho, you don't want to be too aggressive with the calls, it seems like. Or maybe I just suck at elk hunting. That could honestly probably be it. But like it's almost like you like scare them off. But like here, if you like let up on the calls, they would just lose interest and go to the next thing. Like it was like you'd watch them, they'd be like, oh, that one stopped talking, and they would just go over there.
So you're blowing calls a lot.
Yeah, it felt like a lot. More than ever.
More than usual.
Yeah, more than usual. One of my patients, he hunted like a nearby unit a couple years before, and that was one thing, and he's like an elk killing machine up in Idaho, and he was like, be aggressive. He's like, here you gotta
aggressive.
He was like, don't be afraid to just get in there and like be aggressive with the calls, and that's definitely
not the norm.
Not the norm. So that was a learning curve, but they were more responsive. It seemed like if you like quit calling, they'd be like, never mind, lose interest. But it was good.
Yeah, I would say I had a similar experience in Utah too. Last time I had a tag, I did a whole lot more bugling than I normally do. And I bugled a few bulls in, which is usually not the case for me. I'm like not bugling bulls in. The bull ended up killing, actually cow called in, but called in a couple others 2 days prior, just bugling at him. And I actually had one bull that came, he was alone, came all the way across the canyon to just bugles. So it's hard to know what to do. What do you probably listen and watch a lot of content, elk hunting, bugling, all that.
Not really.
No?
No.
Okay.
I don't really watch content. I don't watch YouTube. I don't.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that the stuff I've watched is recent by any means, but you hear people talk about like, oh, I know what that elk needs when and what he's saying. Do you have a gut feeling on that?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, you just kind of figure it out as you go.
I like judging by like temperature of like how interested are they or not. I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
Or what I'm saying, or what, you know, I don't know. Just feed off of their.
Yeah, every situation's different, isn't it? Yeah, I talk to a lot of people that want strategies. Like, how do you do it? I'm like, I don't know, because I did this one time and it worked, and I did this other thing another time and that worked, and then one time I just spot and stalked and shot one, and it's just like, I don't know. You kind of have to. You just got to gauge what the situation's giving you. Yeah. You've said a few times that you go a lot on intuition. And I feel that way also. Like that's kind of how I feel like I've been successful, is like a lot of times it's just a gut feeling. Yeah. I don't think I say it's a gut feeling, but I don't think it's like, it's not fly by the night, right? Like I'm making calculated decisions based on something. Yeah. But I don't know how you teach that unless you just get it from experience, right? Yeah. You have to put yourself in those types of situations to then kind of have that intuition of like, oh, this is the thing that I should do. And it doesn't always work. No. But I feel like that's kind of the secret sauce. And I don't know how I should get that other than just being out there. Yeah.
I definitely am a gut feeling person. Like, if my gut's saying like, go over there, like I'm gonna go over there, or whatever, whatever it is.
Interesting.
Or pack up and leave, or try a new spot, or wait 5 more minutes, or all that.
Yeah, I'll be interested. Are you gonna do some more solo hunting this year? Do you think?
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see how you feel, like after doing some more solo hunting versus hunting with a partner. Because I feel like I'm a lot more that way on my own. Yeah. And it's actually one of the things I think I like about hunting by myself the most, is that there's never a second guess, really. I'm not turning to my buddy and saying, what do you think? And he says, I don't know, what do you think? And then you sit there and you kind of analyze the terrain, you look at it. I feel like so much more hunting on my own. I make a plan and I'm like, I'm going to go do it. And I go for it, and I do it. And I feel like I've been more... All of my best animals I've killed by myself.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I don't know that it would be the case if I had a partner with me all the time, because I just think I'm more intuitive. I'm more likely to like dive off and do something if I'm not worried about somebody else and kind of taking care and taking it with me and like working with them, which is interesting. It'd be interesting to see what your thoughts post hunt.
I'm excited. I mean, I killed that bull in November by myself, rifle bull, and it was just like, I just went, like, I was like, well, I'm going to go try. Like, I'm going to go, like, you know, and that was the biggest bull I've ever killed besides my Utah bull. Like, that's my second biggest bull. I don't know if that had anything
awesome.
That's a pretty good year.
Yeah, I was happy. Like, 2 banger bulls. I was like,
yeah, better year than I had. So far, you're beating me in archery and bull elk killing.
Wow. I think you have me beat in the total bull elk killed.
Well, I'm way older than you.
Well, yeah, but still.
Well, we can add up when you're 46 and see how it goes.
But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to just go with what I think, you know.
Yeah.
I do like bouncing ideas off of people, though, because like sometimes I'm like, am I way off base, or like, you know, I don't know. But it'll be a year of learning for me.
Yeah.
So
take us through the day that you actually killed your bull.
the day I killed my bull, craziest day ever.
I want to hear about it.
It was crazy. Started off, it was day 8, morning of day 8. So we were putting 10 plus miles on a day. Like, it's like, and we hunted sun up to sundown, like a couple times.
You're hiking. You're
hiking,
you're just cutting country, hiking, bugling, calling.
And tired, whatever, all the things. Day 8, get hiked up into the spot, and not much happening. Like, there was like one bull bugling, and went after him, and that was the hard part about this part of the unit. It was like you couldn't glass him up. You just went, and then you just got to find out, like, you know, what bull are you after? And so we got up to him, and he was like probably 300 class bull, and it was a bummer. Like, hiked all the way in there and like chased this bugle, and like it was like 2 smaller bulls, and so we just kind of backed off. And one of them, I can't remember. It was kind of a blur of a day, but like basically we like chased him to these cliffs and like ends of the earth, and nothing really panned out, and they were smaller. And I'm not gonna lie, I might have had like a little bit of a breakdown on the mountain. It was like like the hunt was feeling like it was running out of time, and like I was.
How many days did you have left?
So that was day 8. I think I had 12 planned.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah,
I mean,
good start point.
you still have like some time, you know, had plenty of time, but it just felt like, you know, the day before it was like, it felt like every day it was just like so close. Like, it was just like, you know, game of inches, of course, you know, it was
Everything
like,
has to go right.
yeah, everything has to go right, and then some, you know, and it just felt like we just could not catch a break. Like, it'd be either like a small bull, or, you know, the small bulls would cooperate, but not the big bulls, or like, you know, you were, you know, running and gunning and like cut them off, and like I made a mistake the night before, like where I just like an idiot, just like the cow like walked out, and I like could see the bull coming through the trees, and he was a big bull. I don't remember how big he was, but I just like stepped out from behind the tree, because I was like, I have to get out, like I can't kill a bull from behind the tree. And I just like stepped out, and the cow saw me, and I was like, you idiot. They were like 12 yards, but it was just like we were running and like calling, and it was like this whole like cluster. Anyway, so I was like just kind of down, like made a mistake the night before, and time was running out, had a breakdown, got pulled up by my bootstraps, like toughen up, and I needed it. And I might have cried some tears, but it's okay. And went down and just lit off like the canyon, like sent a bugle, and just like 3 or 4 bulls responded. And so I was like, okay, game time.
Back in it.
And we get down there, and I go to knock an arrow. I've already had an arrow knocked that morning. Go to knock an arrow, go to engage my rest. My launcher blade is hanging on by the pig hide.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So it's broke. At the fork?
Broke at the fork. And no idea how it happened.
Oh.
Because I had an arrow knocked earlier, and I always disengage my rest. And then, I mean, we were running and gunning through like some really thick aspeny just shit. And
Dog hair aspen. That's what I call them.
Gnarly.
Those regenerating aspen are rough.
And I like engaged, and I was just like, my rest is broken. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, it's broken. And so we have bulls bugling under 100 yards, cows going bonkers. And I'm like, throw it down, bust out the kill kit. Luco taped it together. So luckily the pig hide, like the sound dampener they uses, had the adhesive held the launcher blade in place. It was broken, but it was still on there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know how this happened. Like, so we taped it together very carefully, like kind of splinted it with Leuco tape. And I like engaged it and disengaged it really aggressively a couple times, and it held. And like I didn't put a lot on my like in the
in the bottom.
In the bottom. And I was just like, it just has to hold for one. Like just has to hold. Reached out, talked to Nick later in the day, and he was like, it should hold. And he was like, do you have any spare launcher blades? I was like, no.
Yeah, no.
He's like, they're on their way to your house. I was like, okay, well. Anyway, so get in on these bulls. I've got a Leuco taped rest. And I was like, well, hopefully it's just a close shot. Like, I was obviously going to go test it that night to make sure it was okay. But, like, I was
Call
just
her
like,
out, everybody. Come on.
yeah, get on there with the comments. Like, whatever. Anyway, so get out there and, like, we have, like, 3 bulls going. And I think I drew twice in this, like, open, like, sage patch on 2 different bulls. And they were big bulls. And it was just, like, I drew, and then like the one just stopped behind the tree. Like he just then he turned and walked away. Like it was just I couldn't catch a break. Like nothing was lining up. They shut down. One of them peeled off into a bedding area by himself, and I was like, well, let's just put on our little stocking moccasins, the Gulus, the woolly ones. Those are awesome. I was like, let's just put on our shoes and just go cruising in there and see if we can't find him. Sure enough, found him like 80 yards in his bed. We tried to slow play him all day. He never even looked at us. Like we couldn't get any closer. I think he was just dead tired. Like
no
I think
cows?
He was just no cows.
By himself.
Yeah. Just dead
Did
tired.
you get a look at him?
Not really.
Gotcha.
Not really. I mean, I saw him quickly, like in the opening. He was big.
I was gonna say I'd love to
big.
know how big that bull was.
He was big. Yeah.
Interesting.
But so we like tried to slow play him all day. Nothing. And then backed out to get some water, and all of a sudden they just like light up in there. So we go like running back in, and I'm just like, what? Can't catch a break. So anyway, that ends up not working out. We knew where the bulls were headed, so we like pack up, go back to the side by side, and by this time I've like talked to Nick, and Nick's like, yeah, it should hold, like it should be good. I was like, okay, cool. And for the rest, so then we get in the razor, we like drive around to this other spot, and hopefully these people aren't listening, but I'm still bitter about this a little bit. So we drive over to this other spot, and it's like just this big open area, and like the bulls are gonna come like down through this like I don't know, we've done it before, like we know where they're going. And really quick, we wanted to go look at some water that was nearby, so we like jet down there on foot, and literally like we're talking, and there's like elk hitting it for sure, but not, it didn't seem like they were hammering it. All of a sudden a bull bugles and chases 2 cows. I'm standing in the wide open, like I'm just like, oh shit, I can't catch a break. Can't catch a break today. And I'm just like, I'm frustrated at this point. Like, it's like not a good day. We go hiking back. We're like, all right, we'll just hunt this like little pinch point. We know where they're going to come out. Like, we know what's going to happen. We walk up there and there's 3 people standing in like the clearing. Like, where did they come from? Like, what the hell? So we like go talk to him. And the guy was kind of like, oh yeah, I imagined you guys had a bull tag because there's nothing else, there's no deer up here, and the cow like spike or whatever is closed. And we were like, okay. And I was like, well, maybe they came from like somewhere else, because we wound up there from another direction one night. No, they parked like right next to our side by side. I was like, cool. So we go back to where we started that morning, and I was pissed. Like I was just like, if this wasn't like a once in a lifetime tag for me, I would be going back to camp and just like calling it a day, because it's just been like, I need a beer. Like I need to go, just like, I'm done. Like,
calm down a little bit.
The elk are winning. Like I'm done. And I was like, I'm going to put my AirPods in and just listen to some old school Eminem. And I need to just like, I'm pissed, right? Because I knew we had to like hike back up there. It wasn't a hard hike, but I was just like, God, like nothing's panning out. So we get up there. I like take my AirPods out. I like kind of like set my bow down aggressively. I'm like, give me the bugle tube. We're going to start. Like, I'm not even going to wait for them to bugle, because our plan was to go up there and just let them start. It's like, no, like let's start. I'm pissed. Literally, within that moment, bulls started bugling, like in the trees, like 120 yards from us. And I was like, oh, just kidding. Like, they're going to start. And so as he was coming out, he was bugling, and he was like, had his head like tipped, like coming out of the aspens. And he was like, it's the broken bull from the other night. Do you want to kill him? And I was like, yeah, like, yes, I want to kill him. So there was like 2 jack pines, and he dropped down like into the aspens to call, and I just ran straight to the jack pines, and I knew that he was either going to come this way, or he wasn't going to come at all. Like there was no, he was either coming or not. And so I I like quickly knock an arrow. I range him and he's like 77 yards. He's coming like right to me. And I was like, okay. And I like kind of start looking around, range the aspens, range like a little sarvisberry bush. The sarvisberry bush is like 32 yards. And I've got like 2 jack pines. I'm kind of standing like in between them. Like I'm kind of like, you know, he's coming from like this direction from my right. And pretty quick, I like range him again. He's like, you know, 64, 60, like 58. Like he's coming. I was like, oh shit. So I like, I'm like, you know, arrow on. I'm like, okay. And I knew he was going to come like out in front of me. And so I had like just a split second to like judge his distance. And I just said 40 as he walked through this little opening. And as soon as he went behind the bush, I just drew. And I was at full draw, I think 18 seconds, like on the film. And,
Fair minute.
Yeah. Yeah. So I drew while he was behind, like walking. He was just walking it just like a good clip. And as he walked out, I remember like looking at him. He had like an aspen tree branch on his neck, and I was like, oh, weird. And like I was like, wow, the sun's like really bright in my peep, and my bubble's like really blown out, and like my pin. I was like, wow, geez. And I just like tracked him till I came all the way out, and I was hoping he would stop, and he didn't. So I just cow called, and he just stopped.
You stopped him?
He just stopped and looked at me, and I just remember like I wasn't shooting a click. So I was shooting no click. So I just remember like I was on him, pin settled, and I just like 40 pin settled, and I just took my thumb off the peg and I just started pulling and it just
broke.
Smacked him.
Did you see the arrow the whole way?
I remember seeing the blood spot instantly.
Gotcha.
So like the bow like breaks and like I see the blood spot, and usually everything I've ever shot has run away. Yeah. He took like 2 steps and just looked at me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, sir." Like,
are you knocking another arrow?
So my dumb ass left my quiver.
Oh, right. So you had 1 arrow.
I had 1 arrow, and I was just like, because I was gonna say like over on this side, and then it was just like 10 yards over there. Yeah, because I changed trees or whatever, and so I'm just standing there, and I'm like, oh no. And he turned and like started walking away, and he just, as soon as he 180'd, I saw the exit. I was like, oh, he's dead. Yeah, like he's done. Dead man walking. And he just kind of sauntered off into the sagebrush and went right into the aspens. And
did you hear him go over?
No. He kind of did this like big like he like kind of went back like the way he came out, and then he just like cut straight across the opening and just walked straight into the trees. And it was like a big like sage opening.
Wow.
Yeah.
What, how big is he? Do you mind me asking?
He went 348 even.
Gotcha.
With his broken side. Yeah.
Is he basically a big 5?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Cool looking bull.
He's cool. And he had broke that 5th from like the first night we saw him, like night 3 or 4. And he'd only had his broken sword. And then he had broke in those few nights the 5th.
Gotcha. Cool bull. So did you have his teeth aged?
I'm waiting to hear back.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that should be back typically March.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, so I'm excited.
You'll get it back.
Yeah. I think he's old. Like he's like his teeth. And I know teeth pretty well. Yeah. They're ground down. Like
we should say you're a hygienist, right?
Yeah. Dental hygienist.
Just a hygienist.
Yeah. But I mean, he had like his like lower incisors were just like dished out, worn, and like.
Can you age human teeth?
No. But you can tell. You can tell like a young person.
The elk and deer, there's like some indicators, that crest. Maybe you know the name of it. Like on an elk's molar or a deer's molar, they've got this crest that runs through the middle of the molar. Do you know what that's called? No, I should know that off the top of my head. Yeah. But the older they get, that starts to dish and wear flat.
Interesting.
And then you can actually track it forward from the back of the jaw and get an idea on how old they might be. But it's not foolproof because it's diet dependent, right? You get a deer and elk that's like lives in a real sandy environment. They might grind that down a little bit more, but that's cool. Old bull. Yeah, awesome. I was super stoked for you.
Yeah, he had the look. He had that like, kind of sloped to his back. He's a big pot belly. He was yellow, like kind of ratty hair. Like, he just
an old rebel.
He's seen some shit, like.
So how does a limited entry hunt compare to a Idaho General OTC tag?
It doesn't. It doesn't compare. Like
you haven't thought of like, oh, now I have to go back to hunting general season.
Yeah, I was like, oh darn, boo. Yeah, it was a hunt of a lifetime. Learned a lot about elk. Learned a lot about elk hunting. A lot about behavior, and like we just don't get that kind of interaction in Idaho every day. You get it, but it's not every day, multiple times
consistent.
A day.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see the footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to
should
seeing,
turn out pretty
seeing
good.
a film. That'd be really awesome.
Yeah.
Are you ready for a lightning round
Oh God.
of questions?
Sure.
Did you know I was going to do this?
No, I did not.
These
Oh,
ones aren't
boy.
they aren't as good as some of the other ones I've come up
What do
with.
I do?
but-
Just answer as fast as I can.
Yeah, just whatever comes to mind.
Oh, boy.
Well,
You kind of actually already answered this one, but I'd be curious. So, if you're going on a hunt, what's your what are you listening to in the truck? What's your favorite pump up song? What kind of podcasts do you listen to? What are you into?
Yeah, like some old school Eminem
That's-
or like, yeah.
Some 7 Mile.
Eminem is great. Listen
But
all the time
also
working
like
out.
the Post Malone, the new Post Malone album came out like right during that.
Okay,
And so like the Wrong Ones, that was like that song, that was like my jam for that hunt.
gotcha. I like that one.
Yeah. But mostly that kind of stuff.
Eminem.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's one word you would describe like how you feel about bow hunting?
Passionate.
Oh, I like that one.
Ooh.
What about you, Brady? How you feel about bow hunting?
Retired.
Retired. Perfect.
Retirement's great.
What's the best piece of hunting advice you've ever received?
Spend a lot of time out there.
Spend more time.
Yeah, more time. Time
Yeah.
and tags in your pocket. It's probably the most important thing.
I like that. Do you think that's the biggest difference between people that are consistent and those that aren't?
Yes.
It's just the amount of days and time they put in.
Possibly. Yeah. I think that goes into it. Like, I mean, I'll leave from work at, 5:30 in the evening. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we drove through the night to go to Utah and, got in at 2 a.m. and got up the next morning and, 5 a.m. and a couple hours of sleep and went elk hunting. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. How bad do you want it?
yeah,
right?
how bad do you want it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's a movie or a TV show that you never get tired of?
The Office.
Yes. That's such a good one.
On repeat.
I watched. Have you seen like the Christmas episode?
Which one?
The one where they let the one lady be Santa Claus. I just watched that the other day. I've
Yeah.
never seen it.
They have a bunch of Christmas episodes.
Yeah, but the one I watched the other day I hadn't seen before, and it was hilarious.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
good.
And he gets pissed because he can't be Santa
Yes.
Claus.
Yeah.
He dresses up as Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so good.
Yes.
That one was fantastic. I love that one. That's a good answer. You already asked it, but you said you don't get buck fever.
Oh, not bad.
Do you got any tips for somebody that might? Somebody that
Don't
really.
forget to breathe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your favorite wild game meat and why?
Probably elk. Just, it's good. It's always good.
Do you got a recipe you like?
I just kind of wing it at all times, but you can't go wrong with like just searing them on like a blacktop or a,
Mm-hmm.
cast iron
Yeah.
with,
Seasoning?
salt and pepper.
That's it.
A little bit of garlic butter and like
Gotcha.
herbs
Huh.
and to baste it once you flip it.
Sides?
Really into the
vegetables,
food. Sorry.
Broccoli.
I'm curious.
I don't know, broccoli.
That doesn't, I mean, it is getting close to dinner time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Usually just, veggies, maybe some rice,
Gotcha.
avocado, sweet potato. I don't know.
You kind of already brought this one up too, but awkward hunting encounters in the woods. So you brought this one up with the 3 guys.
Yeah.
Any others you can think of?
No, not really.
Gotcha. You?
Awkward encounters?
Yeah.
Nothing?
Never see any weird things? Did you guys have some hikers, some through hikers on a hunt, or was that Brandon?
That was, Brandon and I think Neville. They went topless.
Oh,
And the dudes dropped all
drop
drawers
trowel.
as
Yeah.
well.
wow.
yeah.
Just naked hiking?
Yeah.
on
well,
top of their peak bagging.
Yeah, they were. Getting.
So they got up the
getting
top. I
peak.
think they did like the jumping, take pictures of themselves all naked on top of a summit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you guys just have like your tripod set up on them? Taking a peek or what?
Yeah,
That's
I think,
what I heard.
I think that was like right at the top end of a basin that they had a really nice buck bedded in.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to help our cause."
No, definitely won't.
My favorite one I had from this year was I had a through hiker guy from Colorado, and I'm sitting there just like on the side of a single track trail that's just been recently cut in, and there's mountain bike traffic on it. There's hikers on it, So this guy comes walking up along, and he walks up to me, and I got my bow sitting there, and I'm there first day, like very first day, probably the first 3 hours. So I'm just sitting there like glassing this big hillside. It's like midday. He walks up and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like full voice, loud.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, hunting elk, bow hunting elk." And he's like, I've lived here for 40 years. He's like, I've probably hiked this trail, I don't know, 20, 30 times. He's like, I've never seen an elk on it. He's like, I've seen some tracks, but never seen an elk. And as he's talking, I can hear two bulls bugling over his shoulder in the canyon below. Like, as he's speaking, I can hear, whistle.
You're like, oh yeah, there's no elk here.
I was like, yeah, that's wild. That was kind of a fun one. And then I was asking the camera guy, I'm like, do we say something? Should we like point it out to him? Or
No, that way he'll just attract more people to come up there.
Yeah, we figured we'll just let it ride.
Yeah, I guess I had one encounter like that. We were doing the late, like extended Wasatch.
Mm-hmm.
And there's mountain bikers everywhere. And like people don't really know what you're doing, But this guy comes like cruising past and he just like locks up the brakes like, and I was like, oh, geez. Like, he comes out and goes, hey, he goes, you guys hunting deer? Yeah. He goes, there's a big one right back there, right around the corner. I was like, oh, how big? He goes, 200 pounds. I was like, 200 pounds. Holy hell.
Yes.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I was like,
we're only hunting 300 pounders.
I was like, well, did it have like antlers? He goes, I think so. And I was like, okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
That's what I'm going to start saying. See, people ask me, have you seen any? Yeah, saw a buck, 200 pounder.
200 pounder.
I like that.
I was like, what a guy though, just trying to help out.
Yeah.
And you say like, oh, I had really big ears.
Yeah, just big ears.
Mule deer.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I had for you. You got them all. You nailed them.
I got one.
You got a good one? Let's
This is a lightning one.
Okay, no, it's just one.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
saying you are this person at all,
Oh boy.
but we have an Idaho resident here.
Yeah,
Right?
I am.
So I want to ask, why in general do Idaho residents hate non-residents?
I don't know.
It's that state and then Alaska,
Really?
the two that I see a lot of.
I mean, the thing, like, I don't know. Like, it's more people on the mountain, but like, I don't.
Yeah, it's just like I always feel it's like interesting that no matter what,
I'm an
sort of thing is-
out-of-stater a lot of the time, so.
exactly,
like,
we're
I don't
all
know.
non-residents of 49 other states.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't know. It just seems like anytime we talk about that Idaho word,
What's your least favorite license plate that you see at a trailhead?
Utah. Sorry.
How rude.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I concur with you. I get it completely.
Yeah.
Hey,
What is it about us?
Well, it's not about you. It's just there's a like they
What-
seem
what
to
is it-
be.
what is it
and
about
this
the
is
youth?
obviously not a blanket statement because I know that you're not all rude, but they seem to be like the most disrespectful, the rudest, the least like. There's like some etiquette, you know. They just seem to be the most like. I'm here.
Laissez-faire. Just whatever.
Yeah.
So if Utah people were nicer, maybe the general sentiment would be non-residents aren't that bad, but
Maybe.
maybe it's just
Maybe.
Utah people wrecking it
Yeah,
So
it's
thanks,
Utah
Trail.
ruining everything. I'm just kidding.
for everyone else.
Yeah,
No, I don't think you're wrong completely. I hear the same thing in Colorado.
yeah.
Yeah, but if I was to ask somebody from Colorado that lived there and hunted it all, what's the least favorite license plate, they'd say Utah too. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and
what
I don't
it is.
know what it's just like. I don't know. They just. I feel like when you get somebody from, well, we don't ever. I don't often see Wyoming plates. They should never come to Idaho because their elk hunting is
Yeah.
like way better than ours. But like the other plates we do see, like they tend to just be a little nicer, a little more polite, or I don't know.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Utah, boo.
Utahns. Something in the water.
Something in the Diet Coke down there. I think. I don't
Yeah.
know.
What the?
Oh,
Yeah, look at that
wow.
guy.
Get there.
Look at that guy just drinking Diet Coke.
You.
It's in your veins.
Well, that's good. We appreciate you coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
If people have questions for you, can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I have an Instagram.
Okay.
It's just Jess 208. I am a ghost on there, so you won't see much, but I might get back to it. I might fire up the old IG, but there's a
But you check it, and if somebody has a question,
I
if there's somebody
absolutely check
looking,
it. Yes.
somebody's trying to get into bow hunting or something
yeah,
like that,
absolutely.
it's a question for you.
Yeah,
Right on.
absolutely.
Okay.
Just Jess 208.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You too.
Do you know when we shoot?
2:30. I think.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know. I get more than 3 hours of sleep
I'm gonna
tonight. I'm
s-
stoked.
Yeah, that's gonna help.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice.
You're really gonna kick your ass now.
Yeah,
Get your
watch
sleep,
out.
Trail.
No, I'm gonna get a full 8 hours.
Are you?
I'm ready to rip. No,
I'll be ready to rip.
You'll beat me. But
we'll
yeah,
see.
thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, look forward to seeing how you're doing, keeping up with you, and good luck in the draws this year. It'll be fun to see how your year goes and progresses.
Hopefully the luck continues, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make
lightning
your own
strikes
luck.
twice.
Hey.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Jess.
Yeah, thanks.